We're live. This is Julian Jean-Pierre from the Royal St.Lucian Seamoss, and we are here for another, what is it, Seamoss Sundays. Seamoss, let's talk about Seamoss Sundays. I don't know, whatever. Let me just get the not Facebook, Clubhouse group started. There were some people waiting to get in the room. So I had a little bit of computer trouble getting this started. So I see Jamie's right here. There's Karen. Welcome, Karen. Thank you for joining, guys. I'm inviting you guys up to this stage because this is more of like that kind of open interactive thing where everybody kind of asks questions and I do my best to answer them. So come and talk. Let's talk about Seamoss. What's up, Jamie?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Not much. I'm there, you know.
Excuse me, I kind of have a little, not a sore throat, but was out with friends yesterday, and I think I was screaming a lot.
You know, it's so funny. We're so scared to like say like, you know what I mean? Like we have I have a little bit of a congestion in my throat. I'm gonna take some more Seamoss tomorrow, but I've been like kind of like, do I tell anybody how I feel? Do I keep it in? Like,
especially nowadays, any little cough, any little cold, you know what it is.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I was thinking to myself, it's like no one gets sick anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody's afraid. Like it's like as soon as you get sick, it's automatically COVID.
That's exactly what's happening too.
Mm-hmm. So, what brings you to the clubhouse? Like, what were you curious in finding? Do you have any questions or you want to know about the business?
I have a lot of questions, especially the business aspect and a little bit, I'd like to know like on how you got started.
Okay.
Because like the country I'm from Cape Verde. It's 10 islands off the continent of Africa.
Uh-huh.
And I've been looking for Seamoss for the longest time, like online. But then I see a lot of people selling fake Seamoss. I was waiting till I find the right person to buy it from. Mm-hmm. But then come to find out, our oceans are surrounded with Seamoss, on land, in the water.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm in Seamoss heaven, you know?
There's tons of it in Africa, and the waters are pretty good in that. Like, there's a lot of places in Africa where there's not a lot of, like, it's almost abandoned. You know what I mean? Like, it's very desolate. Like, there's no.
Especially my country with 10 islands, so we're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So everywhere you go, you see Seamoss, especially the purple ones, you know?
Yeah.
So then I started taking it, and I seen a big difference on my health, my metabolism, my weight, and I smoked cigarettes, you know? Mm-hmm. And the main reason why I really wanted to get into more about Seamoss was because I was suffering a lot from mucus in my lungs. And as I was taking the Seamoss, I'd wake up and I'm just spitting out mucus. And I'm like, wow, it's like my body's really taking it out, you know? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I just started feeling better, and I haven't smoked for the last 4 days. You know, that's one of the hardest things. Easiest thing to start, but the hardest thing to let go.
Yeah. No, congratulations on that.
The Seamoss has just been doing wonderful things to me. And I have my mom back in America and my sisters, and I was just telling them about it. I was telling my friends, and they're like, yeah, we buy some. We used to buy some, but the store, they don't have it no more. And it just clicked, and I was like, I have it here. Mm-hmm. I know some people that are looking for it and are using it. So I was like, it's a way for me to start a business out here and actually employ people, because my country, unemployment is unbelievable out here. Everyone just tends to immigrate to America or Europe to work. So yeah, like it's helping people, you know, and I can make a business out of it, and there's no business of Seamoss in my country. Uh-huh. So I said it's just kill two birds with one stone, you know?
Yeah, no, you could. So, are you thinking about like building a farm and growing it yourself, or harvesting it off the?
The way it is now, the best thing for me to do is just harvesting it in the ocean, because
Yeah.
there's so much of it and there's no one taking it from the ocean.
That's cool.
So there's still so much air, but if it does tend to not say run out, because I don't know how much is in our ocean, but with the plan in the future is actually really, really get to know more about this industry, and I could probably start growing it.
Mm-hmm.
But for the meantime, just get it from Mother Nature naturally.
Yeah. So have you figured out how to dry it, how to clean it, and that kind of stuff? Or where are you?
The way I clean it, because when I get it fresh from the ocean, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even dry up,
Mm-hmm.
So what I do, I just soak it in the water overnight,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just rinse it out a couple of times, like 3 to 4 times, and then I squeeze lime, fresh lime into it.
Yeah.
And then when I rinse it, then when I see that it's clean, is because when I change the water, and then I just see the water nice and clear,
Yeah.
But then I just put it in the blender with spring water. I take it raw, like in the gel. I don't put it in smoothies. I don't put no other different flavors. Because to me, I'm from the island, so to us, everything natural and by itself is always better.
I agree. But but when you go to sell it, you're gonna need to dry it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dry it. Yes.
So you're gonna have to kind of not figure out, but see how they dry it and just kind of just learn how to dry it, basically. It's not that hard.
So I've been watching some videos on how to dry it. It's just that I haven't tried drying it yet, because I'm the only one using it out here in my country that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
But my mother and my sister actually told me to send her some, so I guess I'm gonna have to get to the point where I'm gonna have to start drying it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's good. If you're gonna make a business out of it, you're gonna have to learn how to dry it so that you can preserve it. You know what I mean?
So what is the best way to dry it? Do you rinse it out when you get it out the ocean, rinse it out, then dry it, or you dry it?
Yeah,
How do you dry it? Just straight from the sun with the fresh from the ocean? Is there any other steps or anything that you have to do?
There's so many different ways to do it, right? It's hard to say which one, but I'll start by showing you or explaining how they do the gold Seamoss, right? And to make the gold Seamoss, what they do is they bleach it in the sun. Now in St. Lucia, most of them will put it in a bag, like a clear plastic bag, or they'll cover it with something clear and plastic. Then the Seamoss kind of sweats in it, and it gets like really white, goes like bright white, and from there you take it to another table that you just let it dry. It's more of a table with a mesh underneath it, and it lets the air go through it, and so that dries it, and it'll take like a day to dry, and then it's kind of good to go. The other way that they do the color and then the multi and like the full spectrum or whatever, like anything that's sort of unbleached, sun bleached, they would hang it and dry it in the dark, wash it and clean it first, because you want to get all that seagrass and all that kind of muck on it, so that when the customer gets it, they don't have to spend a lot of time washing it and cleaning it themselves. And so you clean that first, and then you go and you dry it in the dark for maybe like a day or so, and then you finish it in the sun.
All right, that's for you to bleach it, correct?
Yeah, that would be the non-bleaching. The bleaching would be the bleaching.
The non-bleaching is the bleaching is the one that you said with
the plastic
clear covers.
Yeah. Even some people, if the sun is hot enough, they'll put it just in the direct sun. Like I think in a lot of places, Jamaica, they'll just lay it out in the direct sun and let the sun.
Yeah, I think that out here would most likely, because we're a tropical island, so we're sunny and it's hot all year round.
Yeah, well, St. Lucia's tropical too, right? But I agree that like you could have brighter, hotter sun than it is in St. Lucia, right? So
yeah, it's hot here all year round.
Yeah. And so, I would even try different, like sampling, trying it, like drawing it different ways, you know. If you have access to my Instagram, it's St. Lucian Seamoss at St. Lucian Seamoss. there's actually in the highlights, there's a place called Harvest, and it shows the harvesting steps that I took when I first got in this business. One of the things I had to do when I was first like I guess to become partners with my partner, he I don't know. He didn't really say this, but I believe that this is what happened. That he dropped some sea moss off me, and he went and tested me to see like if I knew what I was doing and what I was talking about, or if I was just full of shit. And so
he gave you that test.
yeah, and luckily I passed. I mean, I worked hard to do it. Like I babysat that CMOS. There was no way I was bringing that CMOS to him, and it wasn't perfect. Like, trust me, when he saw it, he was just like, "Whoa, whoa, okay, all right." So someone can try CMOS. You know what I mean? But the whole point of the story is that there's videos that I took, and I put it in the harvest section where I show kind of like the like slight steps of what I'm doing in the sun and stuff like that when I'm doing in the bag to bleach it and then to dry it.
I'll go and check out your Instagram because I'm trying to, like learn because the knowing about the CMOS and the way CMOS is just taking over the planet now since Dr. Sabi and Nipsey Hussle, like everyone, and CMOS is hip. It's the hip thing now. But me, like, it's just more than just a trend. It's actually when you notice that you have something that's so powerful and so beneficial when you take it, especially today when we're having nothing but viruses and diseases, and you have something that God put there for us that's if you're in the local areas where you can find it, it's easy. You can just go to the beach and pick it yourself. But if you live in certain areas where you have to buy it, where there's still people like you and me hoping to come into this industry and able to supply people with this magic here,
Yes. Yes, no. CMOS is a beautiful thing. And it is kind of like you say, like it's become trendy, but at the same time, what I find is that those that are in the CMOS, they're all generally in the CMOS for the love of CMOS. There's very few.
It's bigger than the way people like. I've always read about it, but I didn't actually in Cape Verde. Our language is like Portuguese and African, but there's more of a Portuguese to our language because we were colonized by the Portuguese.
Yeah.
So like I've always looked for it and showed people's pictures, and we have it in the ocean, but they didn't even know what the name was in our language.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, that's probably why no one out here is actually using it. But then just the other day, since our government, they usually do like these startup kits for people who want to try start a business. And I've actually read about it, and there's these kids, these young kids who actually coming up with the same idea. Like they just came up, it's on the news that there's algae that has a lot of benefits in the ocean, good for hair products and facial mask and all the nutritions and minerals. And when I was reading that, I was like, they have to be talking about CMOS.
Yeah.
And then that's exactly what they're doing. But our government here doesn't really, they tend to help at the same time. It's just going to take forever, for you to even do anything. So I have a lot of family and connections back at home, and I have my cousin here too that we was talking about actually being a partner because I know more about CMOS, but he knows more of the business aspect and the licenses for the import and export. So that's why I want to learn more on that side, especially on how to find, because I know you come on Facebook and you can put ads like on the way how to find because we want to basically do wholesalers. We just want to, like, he has the import and export license. We just want to send as much as the distributor needs, and then once the distributor gets it, then they're the ones that can go and sell it to their clients. So the phase that I'm trying to go through now is on how to find people or companies or e-commerce stores that buy in bulk.
Yeah. And do you know kind of like what your price is that you want to set it at? Because that's probably the first step. Depending.
Yeah, the prices, I just been freelancing, going through like other people's sites and trying to see their prices for the weight, if it's pounds or kilos, and I just been freestyling and trying to see the average of what the price should be, because I'm still don't know exactly what price I should put it on, because I've never sold Seamoss.
Yeah.
But I've just been going through different websites and just trying to compare the prices and trying to see, oh yeah, this looks about right, so I'm still learning on that aspect.
Yeah, and it takes some time, right? You have to sort of what I did, or what my experience was, is I spend enough time in the market to almost get the feel and the vibe of what people are doing or what people are wanting, and then it helped shape how I sent out my message on whatever I did. You know what I mean? And so I think it's important too to you to figure out exactly who your target market is, like who you want to sell to, and then that way you can figure out where you need to be price wise and quality wise to ensure that they are interested in that product. You know what I mean? The CMOS has so many different areas where people are selling it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I mean, do you have the means to I guess move large quantities of the CMOS? Is that where you want to go, or do you want to kind of because there's ways to I guess sell to other people that are going to distribute for you, or you can find one of your family members who could be the sort of redistributor for your product.
That's one thing that that's in the beginning, before I actually brought this idea to my cousin.
Yeah.
That's exactly the blueprint that I was trying to go with. Have family members back home and, send it to them, and then open an e-commerce store like Shopify, and just mail the products to them, and then they will distribute it and send it to the clients who bought it.
Yeah.
But I was actually looking through shipping out here from my country. The ship, it's like the shipping is out of control with FedEx and UPS International. So I looked at it like, okay, I'm gonna send it, but I'm gonna be losing money just on shipping,
Yeah, but have you looked at other alternative methods besides FedEx and UPS? Have you looked?
The only thing that I know that we do have out here is FedEx, UPS, and DHL.
They don't.
There's other ways, and that's something I'm still trying to get more information on, if there's any other international shipping besides those companies out here.
Yeah, I would look for freight forwarders, freight forwarding companies, because not everybody. I don't know your country too well, but I'm assuming not everybody's bringing stuff in by those means, FedEx, DHL, and UPS. You know what I mean? There's got to be.
Not really. The people that usually do send things in are people who actually have history in America, and they know, okay, you're gonna pay more, but your package is gonna get here a lot faster. So, like the locals here, they're usually more traditional. Like, okay, I'm gonna send something when someone comes here on vacation and they're going back to America. Then, okay, we'll send family members and friends some gifts, Or they usually send the ships. We have the freight ships that bring the cargoes, the container ships with cars or oil barrels or boxes, and the families just buy food or clothing or electronics, and that's the way they usually get things back and forth.
Do you have an international airport?
Yes, we do. We actually have 4 international airports out of the 10 countries, the 10 islands. We have 4 international airports.
So there's got to be some flights that ship cargo by air through those regions. You'd have to kind of figure out how it can get to America. You know what I mean? For example, when I ship to Toronto, I use a company called Amerijet from St. Lucia. It's basically all they do is ship cargo. You ship anything through them. Fruits, vegetables, clothing, anything. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me.
Yeah, then what you're just saying here, it kind of does make sense out here, because the things that we export from my country is mostly fish, wine, and coffee.
Okay.
And I know in America, and our rum, we make rum here from sugarcane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, saying it's like a traditional drink here. Everyone that comes here, they have to drink. We call it grog.
Oh, cool. Never heard of it,
We
bro.
do ship those out to the U.S. because I know there's a lot of Cape Verdeans that's our race that actually opened up supermarkets and they sell a lot of their traditional foods and vegetables and fruits from our country. So I was like, yeah, they must have the same thing you just said here, the way you send your Seamoss to Toronto. So we must have some type of way also where we send cargo, which is a lot cheaper than just FedEx and UPS.
Exactly. So yeah, I would take a look at those like methods and see if there's a way to reduce the shipping. But at all, if anything, you could probably ship it by boat. Might just take a little longer, but if you if you got someone reshipping for you and you ship by boat, it might work out.
That's the idea my cousin wanted to do because he has the import license, the export license, so you'll be able to send cargoes out. And the way I was the same thing I just explained to you now about the pricing. I have to bring this to his attention tomorrow that we can also look for alternative ways and look for other ways that we can send it, even if we do send it on in planes or because he wants to just go bulk. And I said, okay, going bulk is good because we do have a lot of the product there and you have the license. But us coming new into this industry, going bulk might be it's going to be a lot harder than we think,
Yeah, but I think it will force you to it'll put pressure on you to get rid of it. I find in a lot of businesses, not this business, the how do you say it? The deciding factor of whether or not someone succeeds or not really comes down to their desire to succeed. Like I think I was reading something or listening to something where some guy was like pushing him out to water, and you had to keep going out into the water until you couldn't breathe. And he's like, that's the point at which your desire needs to be, where it's almost like you're willing to drown yourself to get that. You know what I mean? So
sacrifices, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's the question.
That's something I've been doing a lot, and I've actually been seeing a lot of outcomes in my favor. Because before I used to be such a procrastinator and scared to take risk. I always wanted to play the safe side. But then when it's something that I know I want to do and it's a passion for it, and you have to take risk,
You got to put yourself out there, and yeah, like I said, but I would maybe test the waters a little bit before you go full out, just so that you don't move too quickly and you make mistakes.
That's exactly what I was telling him. I was like, I understand that you have to think big, but you have to test the waters before you go just jumping in,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd definitely recommend that. Start with a few $100 first, or find a couple buyers and stuff like that to ship it to.
First thing is actually that's another question I have. When you was getting into it, was you mostly started locally or you went straight internationally? And which method did you find best in finding clients? Was it mostly ads online, or was it just like word of mouth from locals who have family members and friends who live outside of St. Lucian?
Okay, so how we got started was we came up with the plan that in order to sort of how do you say it, have an advantage over most of the other people that are selling directly from St. Lucia, we decided that we needed to have a location in Toronto, and I sourced out a location through a friend to ship out of in Atlanta. So I had both countries, and we shipped there, and then from there we shipped the stuff out. How I got the customers was basically I hit people up. I talked to everybody that I could. I did a couple friends because guys knew that I was going down, and so I told them this was big and bought it. So I had a couple guys that bought some big orders right away, and although they misread the business, and what they did was like they bought a couple £100 and they sold it to one guy for cheap, thinking that the guy would come back and he didn't come back right away. I don't even think he has come back since we've been started. Like he's still working on that initial supply of Seamoss. And what was it? So we got that, and then I just hit up Instagram, Facebook, and I just messaged people or liked their pages and stuff. That was mainly on Instagram, but I spent the time and I built up the Instagram page first, and I put a lot of like pictures of us and the just to verify, because I knew in the market from my research that the biggest trigger for people that would decide whether or not they were going to buy from you or not would be the authenticity of the CMOS. So I showed a lot of videos of us, the authentic, that I was there and doing the stuff with this, CMOS. And then I started doing live streams, and I did live streams like every day for like like almost 3 months. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had a friend come on and we talked about CMOS. And a lot of times we didn't even talk about CMOS. We just talked about whatever. Just like these shows that I'm doing now, that's pretty much what the CMOS show is. And before I continue, because I know Alina has been asking a few questions, I just want to answer her question about, is there a book for CMOS education? Like, what's the difference between gold, purple, um, and full spectrum? What's the whole component in each variety? Well, my friends, guy I know, Kirby, you can follow him here. I'm going to put it up. He has a book called the Seamossology, and do I have his graphics still on here? This is it here. Let me put it on the full page. The Seamoss. It's the ultimate guide of principles, techniques, and tools. And so, if you follow him and reach out to him or visit his website, which is, I'm just going to pull it up here. This is his website. You can buy that book. It's got it in hard copy, audio, and PDF. And so I got the audio version. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a lot of information in it. It's better than most of the stuff that I've seen. And let me just put the link in here. WWS Vegan Fiber. I think that's their site. There. So, let me just clear this screen and get back to what we were just discussing. Yeah. So I and here's where the desire came in, and this is where I think it separates a lot of people from those that are successful and those aren't. I spent a considerable amount of time liking these pages and doing those live streams. Like, you're talking, some days I did it for 3 hours in a day. You know what I mean? Talking to people, reaching out to people, you know what I mean? Messaging them back. I made sure that I was committed to be almost instantly available. Even now, you message me and stuff, and you seen when you kind of messaged me, right, before. Yeah, I was pretty quick, and I always try to be that way so that I'm sort of easily accessible. That's where I think our, I guess, unique selling position is that we have good quality CMOS. We always have the CMOS, and I'm pretty much available to share answer whatever question, solve whatever problem you have. Like, I'm kind of like right there, as like your support staff. Yeah. So I did all that and the liking the pages, and that was it. People just started messaging me back, and then I had an idea of what my prices were and how the numbers were. And I even just reached out to people. Sometimes I had a pre-scripted thing, like, this is my company, this is who I am, check out my website, these are our prices, let me know if you're interested. And I would basically message bomb people, and then they either got back to you or they don't. You know what I mean? But I think the key is you got to keep pressing, even though you don't see a lot of results, because a lot of times the results don't come instantly.
Yeah, that is true. Nothing really grows overnight. So
no.
That just shows if you're really serious about it and you really want to do this, then it's gonna take time. Patience.
Yes, definitely.
I know a little bit about patience. Got my feet wet in a little bit of stocks, so that taught me a lot of patience.
Well, I think if you could invest it, it'd be really good for you. And I would even like, look at like you're in Africa, right? Look at the markets in Africa. Why are you going all the way to North America if you don't have to? You know what I
So
mean?
that's exactly that's all because I know it's a lot easier to ship to Europe and Africa.
Yeah.
But the reason why America came straight to my mind, is because I have traces back there. I have family, I have friends, I have people that actually know about Seamoss, and some who've actually used it and are still continuing to look for it.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. I would do both though. Nothing hurts. You might find that there's a bigger market in Africa and it's cheaper to ship, and it just makes like we're living in an age nowadays where you got to really test and try everything. No one knows what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what I was doing before I was doing it. Everything I did, I tested it. I had an idea and I tested it out to see if it worked. If it worked, I kept it going. If it didn't, I stopped it.
That's something I'm gonna add to the books, and
Yeah. Hey.
Try to check on the Africa market also, because I know the market here is not a big market, and people out here, I don't know, for some reason, my race, we're very, very stubborn.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I don't know why Cape Verde Seamoss is not a big thing in Cape Verde,
Yeah, and maybe they just those that know, and they're just not talking about it, and you just got to introduce more people to it, and then once they figure it out, they get all excited about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when they hear the benefits and the different ways you could use it, and
Oh, for sure. Hey, Crystal, did you have any questions? And Jamie, I will get more to your question, but I just want to make sure that I give opportunities for other people to ask questions.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Did you have any questions at all, Crystal, that you wanted to ask about CMS, or are you just listening in? Maybe she's listening in. So let's keep talking. Oh, are you ready to talk? It's hard to hear you. I still can't hear you. Can you hear at all, Jamie?
Oh, I put the phone to my ears and they were very, very low.
Yeah. Try it again. No. Are you using a headset, maybe? No, I have my phone fully up. I cannot hear you at all. Maybe there's a glitch in our app. That's sorry. No. No, still can't hear you. That's weird. Maybe what I'll do is okay, she's probably gonna leave and come back. Oh, be back. It's a little bit better. Cool. Do you have a CMOS business?
It's called CK Natural.
Cool.
I think it's growing stages. I finally connected with a Garcillaria so that I can now help find more clients. So yeah, I'm still fairly new. Like Jamie, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, was talking about it is a kind of a slow business for the ones that know, they know. And for others, you have really informed them. I found myself having examples about the wrong things and just trying to bring people to the knowledge of the lost and make more of the living with my so yeah, yeah. We've been through never know who knows.
Cool. I got like maybe a percentage of that, but I know that you got the business CK Naturals, and you were just giving him some advice about. I don't. I'm sorry. It's really hard to hear you because the volume is so low on it. I'm wondering what is causing it.
I apologize. I don't know how to fix it. But
Hey, it's no problem. I can appreciate you just being here and just listening in. You know what I mean? But I wish we could have like been able to answer some of your questions. Did you have a question at all? Maybe I could just hear that question and answer it quickly.
I actually don't have any questions as of yet, but I will be following you guys and staying connected. And hopefully, I can get past this little hurdle and get able to connect with you guys a little bit more.
What's the hurdle that you have?
You guys not being able to hear me.
Sorry? Oh, getting the hurdle, not being able to hear you. Yeah, it comes in and out. Like one minute I can hear it, and the next minute I can't. So it's, yeah, that's weird. But cool. Well, listen in, and if anybody on Facebook has any questions, I know um, Alina actually asked earlier about what the difference between the gold colors are, the different colors, like the gold, the purple, the green, and the full spectrum. And I did touch earlier a bit on it, where I discussed like how they make the gold sea moss, which is excuse me. You remember Jamie? We said you bleach it in the sun with the bag, so it's like plastic color. The colors, which is green, purple, and the full spectrum, or some people call it multicolor, that's produced by putting it in the dark. Now, most of the times they're trying to produce purple when they're doing it in the dark. But depending on the weather or the type of sea moss that it is, it doesn't always get purple, and so the purple turns into sometimes like a multicolor. It'll go like brown to yellow to purple to pink. It's like a whole spectrum of colors, and even with the green, it's like the light, dark, and everything. And so that usually gets sorted as the multicolored or full spectrum, and then the purple is purple, and then the green is green. Now, the I find from my experience using it, the purple tends to be the most strongest and the most sort of like um, I guess intense of the minerals and stuff. Like it would have, I guess, more potent. But I also don't feel like that is like always the best. You know what I mean? Like for me, I don't even use the purple. I always use the gold. I like it better. I find it's more easier to take and less harder on my body to take it every day. And the green I found to be more of like a detoxifier, where taking it I would be going to the washroom a lot and having a lot of bowel movements. So yeah, those were my experiences with the different colors and stuff like that. And so the research that I've seen, although there's nothing really substantial to back it up, which is why I don't really talk about it too much, is that a lot of the colors that are in the sea moss have to do with the phytonutrients of the seeds. So like, and I'm not familiar with all the phytonutrients, but they're kind of saying, basically like the purple has the same conditions of fruits and vegetables that you have that are high in purple. The same with the different colors, pink or the green. Green is supposed to be high in chlorophyll, and
and that cleansing effect and stuff. And so the full spectrum is kind of like a little bit mix of everything. And so, yeah, I those are sort of like the difference in the color. Hey, Crystal, were you able to get your phone? Kind of. You want to try it?
I think based on the photo, I did just leave and come back in.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing you talk about the Seamoss colors. So the vendors that I've been working with on Cruise and Lake, I see that they added a red Seamoss. I kind of went on Google and I couldn't get much information about the red, so I was kind of curious about that.
Red, really. I haven't really seen, at least not in St. Lucia, red Seamoss particularly. It's more uh, purple, purplish red. Is that what it looks like, or is it like a red? Because sometimes I've seen pink.
Yeah, it kind of gives you like a very like it's possibly purple, and there's this layer and there's red, but it's kind of closer to like a pinky or very light purple.
Yeah. What country is it from?
It's coming from
St. Lucia. As far as I know, there's no red Seamoss out of St. Lucia, unless they're calling it red, and it's probably purple, or it might be pink. The pink looks a little bit reddish. But here's the thing: scientifically, the Seamoss coming from St. Lucia is considered a red algae. No matter what color it is, it's a red algae. That's the classification for it. So maybe that's what they're referring to when they call it a red algae or red Seamoss. Because you can get brown Seamoss and you can get there's red, green, brown, and blue. And all of them except for green can be found in the ocean. This is what I remember, I could be wrong. All of them except for green can be found in the ocean. Green is the only one you'll find in fresh water. And that's any green algae. But there's blue algae, there's red algae, and brown algae. Brown algae are like kelp, nori, and a few other of those species. No problem. Oh, I'm getting really stuffed up today. I think it's part of my allergies. So excuse me. I need to blow my nose all the time. Got my Neil Citron here because I think my daughter came down with bronchitis. I think I got that or feeling a little bit of these thoughts. But I don't know. I have a pretty strong immune system, so I know like a lot of times I'll feel this. I might take some Neil Citron, have some honey and stuff, and I'll feel better like tomorrow. But I got some Seamoss to frost it, so I'm gonna make sure I take a big dose of Seamoss tomorrow morning. See if I can get a lot of that mucus out of it.
It helps. Like I said, along with the Seamoss is try like seed oil. And typically when we get a little mucus in our system from a cold, I incorporate the black seed oil along with my Seamoss, and then I get fresh cloves and cinnamon and make a tea with my tonight.
Cool. I should try that. I don't have any black seed oil, but I know a place where I can get it. So maybe if I got some time, I'll swing by there and get it. There's a place in Toronto called Bush Doctor. He's actually in Scarborough, Warden, and Eglinton. At the, I'm just giving him a plug. Hopefully, someone sees this stuff. Go check him out. But he's in the flea market at Warden and Eglinton. Oh, looks like I lost her. Maybe I think she needs to reset her phone because it's like totally. Is she back? You're back.
Yeah, I got kicked out that time.
Yeah, I was just saying. I think you even need to like turn off your phone, turn it back on because something's glitching on it. It's almost like you don't. You're talking through like a headset or something, because it sounds like you're so far away, or like you're talking to it like it's in speakerphone, but it's not in speakerphone, which is weird because I think in this one it automatically goes into speakerphone.
Yeah, I think it is authentic.
Let's see if we can do the high quality. I set the audio to high quality, maybe that'll fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But check on the colors of the Seamoss. From my research, I've come to find that the purple works better for like inflammation in your body and aches, joints, pain and muscle tension. And green, what sets the green apart is that it has chlorophyll in it.
Mm-hmm.
So chlorophyll is, the green byproduct that all of our plants and vegetables kind of use. So the green for me is kind of really good for detoxing heavy metals from the body. And the vitamin C antioxidants that the gold doesn't have in it. Have you guys tried lilac along with the Seamoss? I haven't. I just recently just learned about that, and I also noticed and found out that we have that in my country also. So I was like, I heard something about when you mix it with the sea moss, you actually get more of the nutrients.
That's the theory, but I also add like if you can get the bladderwrack, that's almost harder to get than the Seamoss. Like there, I find there's more people selling Seamoss than there is bladderwrack.
That is true because on the websites I went on, I probably seen like out of like the 10 websites I actually went through, I've only seen one website selling that.
Yeah, like maybe we should even talk offline. Maybe we'll buy some bladderwrack because I got a lot of people that've been bugging me to get bladderwrack.
You could definitely just contact me, and we'll find a way and send it to you because we do have that a lot. Because for some reason, like my country, we're known for our ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's our goal. Our land, we get no rain. Like it barely rains here.
Mm-hmm.
So agriculture is very, very poor out here. So we import 90% of the food that we consume.
Mm-hmm.
But our oceans are full of yellowfin tunas.
Wow.
We have turtles that are actually protected that come on land on all 5 of the islands and lay eggs. Dolphins all over our ocean. So our oceans are a lot richer than our land life.
Mm-hmm. That's probably why you have such a high abundance of the sea moss, because the aquatic life is so strong there. That's awesome.
Yeah, our water is just beautiful. Like it's light blue. Because I was never really a water person, a beach or the ocean. Mm-hmm. But being here for about 15 years now, I just fell in love with the ocean, and there's tourists coming all the time because of our beaches and our oceans.
Yeah, nice.
You should actually look it up.
It's so funny. I was thinking that exact same thing. I was about to ask you, what is the country? And
it's called Cape Verde. CAPE.
Okay, Cape Verde Islands.
Yeah, you should go. We have 10 islands. We have 10 islands, but one of the islands is uninhabited because it's below sea level. But you can see, like from the island I'm in now, St. Vincent, I can actually see the neighboring island, San Antonio. So like it's probably like 30 minutes, 45-minute ferry from the island I am now. Mm-hmm. But the furthest island is the capital from where I'm at now. On plane, it's about 2 hours, but on a cruise, on a ferry, it's about 14 hours to get there. Like we're very diverse. We're a very diverse country and race. Mm-hmm. Like my mother's from the island of the volcano, Fogo, and my father's from the capital. And the capital, we tend to have more of our African heritage descent. And Fogo, I have more French mixed with African and Portuguese. We're just a mixed race, and we look Dominican, African American, Hispanic. We have blonde hair, like mulattoes, dark skinned, blonde hair, green eyes.
Is that the island where it says the Fogo National Park?
Yeah, that's the island my mother's from. That's the island that we actually still have an active volcano.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this. I believe. I mean, I have no scientific proof to back it up, but I believe that areas that are active, like that are in the surrounding areas of active volcanoes, have more richer sea moss because of the minerals that are coming out through that volcanic activity than it would be in areas that don't have that.
That's exactly because when what you just said right now, that actually came to my thought. I was like, I know the island of Fogo is the only island that's still growing because the lava, when it falls to the back of the island, it's actually reaching the ocean and it's making more land. And I know that our volcanic, we have this special type of rock out here that's just in Fogo because of the volcanic. It's called Pausoni, something like that. And it's very rich in minerals. So that actually came to my thought. I was like, so if volcanic rocks are very rich in minerals and it's going to our ocean, and we have sea moss, and that's exactly what you just said. I was like, our sea moss then must have a lot of nutrients due to the volcano.
I think so, and that's possibly why you're feeling such strong effects from taking it.
No, and I felt it so quick, it wasn't taking it for a month. It was just a couple of weeks, couple of days, weeks, because I usually wake up late, real grouchy, not fully awake. But now I wake up, I'm full of energy. My diet's better. My appetite's better. I'm not really eating a lot of fatty food or canned food, like the processed food. I just
it's funny,
great,
and it's funny you say that because I believe that because of one of the reasons why we eat this fatty food and all that crap is because our body is craving like minerals and fats and proteins and all this kind of shit, and we have to get through it through all this other crap. But when you take the sea moss, it's like you don't feel like eating at all. You know what I mean? Because you're
that's true. That's true. Like my appetite's been a lot less.
Yeah.
But I'm not eating as much. But I'm not feeling or getting hungry like I used to.
Yeah.
Like when I take my sea moss, I'll still eat the same. I'm not really a morning breakfast type of person, so I'll probably have some boiled eggs or a smoothie or Greek yogurt, something light. I don't like eating heavy foods in the morning. So when I do take my sea moss, first thing I do when I wake up is wash up, take my sea moss on an empty stomach, and then I'll wait probably like an hour after and then have my breakfast. And when I do eat my breakfast, and then when it's lunchtime, before taking sea moss, my stomach will start growling. I'll start feeling stomach cramps, like, oh no, I gotta eat, I'm forcing it, I'm staying too long without eating. But now that I take my sea moss, I'm not hungry at that time before I used to be, and my stomach doesn't growl. I'm not feeling no stomach pains no more, like just full of energy. Everything just feels a lot different, and I can tell it's the sea moss because that's the only new thing I've actually added into my life, So I know it's the sea moss because it's not nothing else that I'm taking or consuming besides the sea moss.
Yeah, that's like the biggest significant change that you've had.
And even my friends, it was over yesterday. It was like, yo, dude, like, look at your skin, like you're looking handsome. You're looking a lot better than before. And I was like, yeah, sea moss, man. And they was like, what's sea moss? And I showed it to them. And I was like, what is this? And I tried to explain it to them. And it was like, I don't know where you be coming up with all this stuff. I was like, gain knowledge, man. There's so much things you can learn.
Well, that's even where you could probably start is just educating the people around you and just sell to your local community. Like, how many people are in your country?
My country, out of the 10 islands, we have a population about almost 600,000.
That's a big number, especially when you're the only guy that's really doing it. You know.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it. Like, I've searched everywhere on the news, especially now with social media. You know, you can find information so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just recently that I told you that these college kids in high school. Two of them are in school, the other two work, and they are coming up. They came up with an idea to sell like the algae, but they didn't say the name Seamoss or nothing. But the way I told you, they was explaining the benefits of it and how it could be used for hair products or facial masks. And they said red algae, just like you said with Crystal was saying.
Yeah.
Red algae, and it was explaining all the benefits that we have from algae in our waters, and they want to invest in it, you know. So, but then more likely it's going to be more locally, because we do have a lot of locals. It's easy. It's not easy out here in my country to open a business because minimum wage and everything is just horrible out here. So that's why you always need outsourced family or friends, or if you lived in a different country, you know, you have more connections. But it's very hard to start a business out here, but they're most likely gonna go into it for the product of hair and facial masks. But it's still a great idea, you know. Like, I would like to let them continue with this startup kit, complete the course, and probably network with us, you know, like exchange information.
Yeah.
You know?
See how you guys could pull together to get bigger shipments out. Because another thing is that this market's huge. It's not just for human consumption and stuff. And then if you're in a country where you can produce a lot of it or harvest a lot of it and sell it to another company that uses it for products like facial creams or healthcare products or whatever, you know what I mean? You're selling the CMOS, you know? You can do it as meant, like there's no right or wrong way to sell it in a sense, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab me my batch of Seamoss now. Take a nice spoon because it is very late out here. I've actually stayed up just so I could speak to you.
Oh wow, thank you so much. What time is it there?
It's 2:36 in the morning.
Oh shit.
We're 4 hours ahead from Eastern Standard Time.
Well, and then you got to get up early in the morning, eh?
The only thing I have to do in the morning is just drop my son off at his tutor, and then from there he'll come home and then he'll go to school. 'Cause I actually work from home. I'm a medical interpreter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I work from home and I don't work till 4 p.m. Eastern time anyway. So I still have enough time to get rest.
So you're not too far off from Africa, like the main continent, right?
No, we're if you actually look on the map, we are West Africa. We're off the continent. We're in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, but not too.
That's why a lot of people my race is so unique. It's so weird and different.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the Africans, they say we're not Africans.
Yeah.
Because we're not mainly on the continent African, and the Europeans say we're not Europeans. We're in Africa, West Africa. So I was like, then we're from Mars or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you look like
we have, because my country, we was discovered in 1456 by the Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
They say the Portuguese, but Africans always from the mainland out always came in for cattling and fishing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Portuguese are the one that put it in the books that they discovered Cape Verde. And the island I'm in now, St. Vincent, was the fourth biggest port for when ships coming from North America, South America, or Europe going to Africa, they would have to stop here and refuel the ships with coal.
Oh, so there was a lot of coal.
Of the trade started happening where they would bring goods from their countries and trade with people with locals here. And that's where the Cape Verdean race started, because the mid-Atlantic slave trade, Cape Verde was Santiago, Praia Santiago. Mm-hmm. That was the first island, and that's where the mid-Atlantic slave trade started. So a lot of the slaves that was brought from the mainland of Africa was here in Cape Verde, and then they were sent to South America, North America, the Caribbean islands. Wow. So we have a big history. With people that know their history, that follow history, our country will be known. But today, we're basically just known for our music, cultural music, our food, cuisine, fish, culture, music, parties, festival, tropical islands. So that's what brings the tourists in there now.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm looking at some of these, and it's like these islands. They have like 1, 2 roads on the whole. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like one road, and it's like a big 360. Like you can just take one road, and you could go around the island of the volcano Fogo. I know people that actually walked the whole island within 24 hours.
Wow.
Like the island right now is 227 kilometers by length. Very small islands.
So you're in the one that's sort of like at the top, right? The top part.
Because we're separated into two different areas. I'm from the part that's Windward Islands, and we have the Leeward Islands.
Well, that's kind of similar to like in St. Lucia, we're part of the Windward Islands, and there's there's Leeward Islands too, or something.
Yeah, I'm part of the Windward Island, and we don't get we're the northern part. We don't get the rain. Just the southern islands get all the rain.
Oh.
The Leeward, they get the rain. The Windward, we just get a lot, and lots of wind.
Oh wow.
That's why we do a lot of one thing too. Our country is known for is kite surfing and surfing because of our oceans and the wind. Like the best kite surfers in the world. Well, the top three kite surfers in the world are all from Cape Verde.
Oh, cool. And I can see how there's certain, like with the land, there's probably a lot of surf because of the way it's like you could see how, like, I'm looking at it on Google Maps now, and you could see the topography and how there's depressions and stuff in the water, which affect. I don't know. I'm not a surf expert, but from my understanding,
no, we do. We get especially the island of Sal, which is a little bit north. If you're looking on the map, a little bit north. It's north. It's north, and it's closest to Senegal. And we actually have international surfing contests. Surfers from Hawaii, South Africa, California, Australia actually come here for the international kite surfing and surfing competitions.
Cool.
Like our waters is just what brings everyone here. You know, tourists come here especially now we get cruise ships left and right. Every other day we get cruise ships from Europe, so it is cold in Europe. They all tend to come to Cape Verde for the tropical weather.
How's the COVID doing in your country?
The COVID, it's not. There's been deaths, but I think so far you can say the 2 years that we've been going through this pandemic, we probably had like 200 deaths.
Oh, that's not too bad. Not to say that it's.
But most of the deaths were people over 70, because our average lifespan in Cape Verde for males it's 82 years old.
Oh wow.
For women it's 84. That's why Cape Verde, we eat a lot of more cooked food and organic food because we're mostly known as fishermen or farmers. So it's everything from the ocean and land food because we don't have rain, so there's not a lot of grass, so we don't have a lot of cattling. So it's mostly we consume a lot of fish.
Yeah, a lot of meat.
Fish, tropical fruits, like we get mangoes, papayas grow here all year round. Mangoes, they grow 2 times a year. We have the little small baby bananas. Everything here is alkaline and organic, so we have a very, very good diet out here.
So wouldn't you think that they would have like a longer lifespan?
Could you repeat that? You kind of cut off.
I was saying, but don't you think they would have had a longer lifespan if that was the case? Like, I was surprised when you said 84. Like, I think, or I guess that's the average age. What do people normally live to?
Around there's a lot of elderlies that reach the 80s, 90s. Like my grandfather passed. Because my family back home, we're originally from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And my grandfather passed April 4th of 2020, and he was the first Cape Verdean to die of COVID in America. He was 99 years old.
Oh. Yeah,
So,
that's right.
and his brother passed a couple years before, but he passed at 104. So I have a lot of elder aunts, uncles who are in their 90s and 80s. So
Yeah, that's what I would figure. Yeah, that they would be like high in age, especially with that kind of diet. Like my
yeah, 'cause in
dad.
Africa, because I know the other parts of West Africa, especially like Sierra Leone, their lifespan is like their average lifespan is like 45, and I was like, wow, that is so young compared to ours, you know?
Yeah.
And it's safe out here. We don't have a lot of violence because it's a very small island. Everybody knows everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, if I was born in if I was born in this house, I bet you my mother, my uncles, my grandparents, like it's a family house. It's not like we're moving from one city to the next city, from one city to the next city. It's just very cultural and very small, tight knit community.
Mm-hmm. And that's good, you know what I mean? Because no one wants to mess around. They're like, where's there to run, really? What are you going to do, swim in the ocean?
There's nowhere to go, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
actually nowhere to go.
I really hope that you do, start this Seamoss business. I think there's a definite opportunity for you to grow it and then, or harvest it, like you said, because it's such an abundance there. And then,
it would not be right if I don't hop on this opportunity because it's everywhere. Like actually, a friend of mine, she was here on vacation, and I was asking her, like, do you know about Seamoss? She was like, yeah, I take it. I was like, do you know people around the city, the city that where you're from? She was like, yeah, I know people that will buy. I was like, okay, so we could do a little networking, like you can make a little something out of it. Like you could be the distributor, and I send it to you, and then you could handle with them because you actually see them. And she was like, yeah, she was out here on the island of Sal, and she said her and her brother was walking on the beach. She was walking, and then she just seen them everywhere. And she told her brother, "Do you know what this is?" And he was like, "No." She was like, "Yo, this is Seamoss." And she was like, "Yo, I can't believe they're all over the place." Like she said, everywhere. And I noticed them too because after my friend, he's a scuba diver. He lives like right across the street from me. He's actually the first person that brought me my Seamoss. And I told him to take me where he gets it. And I told you I was in Seamoss heaven, like everywhere. Turn left, turn right. There's nothing but Seamoss everywhere.
Yeah, just Seamoss on Seamoss on Seamoss.
Yeah, on Seamoss, and then there's the Seamoss all over the rocks. You actually went in the water, like it's everywhere. And I was like, I can't believe we had this here, and no one actually knows what it is. But if they don't know what it is, they don't actually know the benefits from it.
Well, you can even maybe like put it in a drink or something and sell the drink to people on the island. They'd probably be more. Because sometimes, depending on the market, you have to just like it has to be presented in a way that's palatable. Do you know what I mean? And so, taking that Seamoss, making it into a drink, and saying, "Hey, drink this, and you'll feel better." People like that stuff. Or say drying it, turning it into a powder, and giving it to them in a pill form.
Yeah, the powder thing. That's one thing too. My cousin was like, most likely if we was to get into the market here. Put it in a powder form, or what you just said right now, like infuse it with another drink.
Yep.
Because in the gel form or raw, they probably won't even pay attention to it. But when you put it in a powder form and you explain the benefits, especially to the women, it helps with your hair, your skin, your nails, and they would actually, because I told my wife that, and she started taking it just because I told her that, and I was like, I didn't even tell you the rest. I just told you 3 things, and that's okay with you,
That was enough. That's all that mattered.
Yeah, she said my hair, my nails, and my skin. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, I might even test the market, see what kind of like what works and what doesn't. But one idea you might want to consider is getting into the powder where you're processing and drying and shipping it out as powder from there. You know what I mean? Because the labor is probably cheaper. You know what I mean? And if you ship it by powder as opposed to the dried Seamoss, you're going to get more volume, like more Seamoss in the same volume, if that makes sense. And so it's just going to cost less to ship, basically, which is one of your problems, right?
Less weight, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all these conversation we had here, like it was nothing but knowledge, gained, and I'm the type of person, once I gain knowledge, I try to put it in perspective and put it in my everyday life. So I'm gonna have a nice talk with my cousin tomorrow, and bring this up to his attention and see what we could do from there.
Yeah, for sure, and don't be afraid to reach out to me if you have any other questions or whatever. You can catch me online. I mean, you're in the Seamoss Buyers Club, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So message me from there, and then you know what I mean. You can if you have any questions.
I'll definitely do that. So nice talking to you. But
my pleasure.
About to go knock out for a little bit and get another probably like 5-6 hours of sleep before I drop my son off.
Yeah,
but I'll definitely be in contact with you.
Okay, sounds good, man. It was a pleasure talking to you, Jamie.
Nice meeting you too, and thank you for all the information. It was all well worth it. Staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, it was worth it.
I'm so happy I was able to provide some value for you.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem. Anytime. Take care.
Bro. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So that was Jamie. Nice guy. He's from Cape Verde, which is like off the coast of Africa. We were just looking up on here, as you guys can see. That's pretty cool. And we've been discussing, if you didn't watch the whole thing, about his interest in getting into the Seamoss business as an exporter, and just kind of like some ideas of how he can, get some business. How he asked me how I got started and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it was a great conversation. If any of you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys want to join in and join in on as a guest, feel free to use the link that I posted earlier. I think I still have it. I'll post it again if I do. This looks like it. Yeah. I posted that there. And I thought Moss Boss and Ricky were going to join me tonight, but I honestly didn't message them. And so maybe they got tied up, or I figured I wasn't doing it because I didn't message them, which I should have. But I don't know. I got doing some other stuff. I was reading some on Seamoss online, and so kind of lost track of time. It is what it is, So, what should we talk about? Let me pull up the. I know we had. I had some, I guess, topics of what I was going to discuss tonight. And I mean, we did talk a little bit about scaling or getting, into the business, although it was more from the exporter side. Oh, you know what? Earlier, someone, Elena, she asked about white labeling. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. Because I think that white labeling is something that's going to gain a lot of traction in the future. I think it's going to help a lot of people get started, especially if they're in a position where they're not sure how to start. Partnering up with another company to supply and produce your products can definitely accelerate your business and actually help you focus on more of the stuff that might be more, or some of the stuff that might be more important for your business than actually producing the product. I do think this is something that is going to be kind of like the future, where there's going to be some companies that are exceptionally good at what they do, and that's all they do is produce a product that's good. And then they offer that good product to other companies who then put their own branding on it and sell it as their product. That's essentially what white labeling is. It's when a company produces a product without any branding on it, and you purchase it, another company, with the intentions of putting your own brand on it and reselling it. And this happens everywhere in the marketplace. Even companies like Tide, Coca-Cola and stuff, they don't own their actual bottling facilities. They license that product out, or that formula, to another company that produces it and then puts their brand on it, like basically puts the brand on the Coca-Cola and sells it. And so if you're someone who doesn't want to invest in a lot of money in product or inventory, white labeling might be an option that you want to really consider, because um, one advantage of white labeling is that you don't have to invest in a lot of inventory, right? You can pretty much place smaller orders of the product and have them ship it out to you. I think that also some companies are probably going to get into doing the drop shipping for you. So they'll put your label on it, and then allow, do the shipping out for you. I had to take a second here to see who was saying yep. So I want to say, what's up, Taeda? I hope I keep pronouncing her name right. Yes. So I know that there's one company right now that's doing the white labeling. That's Ricky Ray. I'm sure there's a few other places. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry about this. I have some bad allergies. So yeah, so Ricky's doing that. I think there's probably a few other companies, but I'm not aware of their names. And so, like I said, if you wanted to get into, say, freeze dried, selling freeze dried Seamoss, thank you, appreciate that. Someone just said, bless me, thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's expensive to invest in a freeze drying machine. You know what I mean? To freeze dry CMOS, it's expensive to go through the tests and test to see what is the right. I don't even know anything about freeze drying machines, but I'm sure there's settings and parameters in the machine that you have to kind of figure out to make sure that you um, dry the CMOS correctly, or dry it efficiently. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And so, I don't know. To me, it makes more sense to get someone that's an expert who's already doing it, and have them, produce the product for you, so that you can focus more on your marketing, more on your advertising, more on your meeting people, and you can probably get better pricing, or because you're buying on a consistent basis and a relationship with them, you can, get good pricing without having to invest in a large inventory to hold on to. I don't know. So there's so many different advantages to white label, but definitely one of the biggest ones I'd say is the ability to sort of kickstart your business and get it going. Um, some people don't have time to sit there and put the packaging in the CMOS. You know what I mean? And so that's another thing. So I would say one is time. Two would be the the experience that they have. That's another pro, is that by working with these people, they have the experience on how to package the right CMOS, how to present it in the right way, and you know, especially if it's in dry and stuff like that, they have the equipment, they have the labels, they have the barcodes, they have the packaging. They're probably buying the packaging in bulk, and so they're saving a lot of money. That was one idea that I even discussed with someone, is like, what if we all, like, put our, like, well, not me because I don't make gel, but what if all the people that were making gel put all their money together and they bought one big giant, like, mega order of jars from a jar company in China or something like that, and they got cheap jars? Or what if one guy goes and, like, puts the order together for everybody, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll, let's pool our money together and buy this, pallet of bottles. I'll keep the bottles in my house, and when you need the bottles, place the order, and I'll sell it to you for this price, which is maybe 5 cents more per bottle than I would. So he makes a little something for his time of putting the bottle order together, holding the bottle onto the bottles and whatnot. But my point is like, there's there's a lot of opportunities to do business like that if we kind of work together. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's something that if we could get people on board, that would be cool. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know why I always do that when I blow my nose. I'm always like worried that there's going to be blood or something like that, or I don't know. But I have really bad allergies with my dog. Which, yeah, I don't know why my family got a dog, but that's okay. Yeah. What happened to the camera there? That's a little glitch there. So what should we talk about? Clearing the page. Let's see, what did I say? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me. Oh yeah, so we're talking about white labeling and drop shipping. Touched a little bit about that. Oh, let's talk about the Seamoss reproductive cycle. That's something I don't think too many people know about. Let me see if I can pull that up in my bookmarks. Let's see, Seamoss notes. Oh, here it is. The Garcillaria life cycle. I'm going to share my screen with this. Talk about this. So, what is this? Official Seamoss originally sells, also sells white label products. Cool. I did not know that. And they're also out of. There's a lot of Seamoss sellers out of Atlanta. That's. Oops. Camera. That's what I've noticed. One thing about Atlanta, there's a lot of people that are centered on that sort of region, and which is cool. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. It's all good. So I'm going to pull up the screen here and talk about the Garcillaria life cycle, which is similar to like pretty much all the Seamoss life cycles, and it basically starts with this cysto cap. Basically, the Seamoss will get these bumps in their on their branches on the different sort of fawns here. It's interesting to see this. Like, I can even tell the difference between the male and the female. I think when you look at their cell structure, they're very similar, the same. But they all start with the same cycle. The Seamoss grows these little bumps, and within the bumps, they drop these little, like, sort of like spores, these carpiospore. And so you have the male.
I wish these things were so much easier to read and understand, but it looks like they release these like spores. These spores grow. They turn into these branches. These branches, I don't know what this here means. Shows males and females, and they have the sperm that goes from the male and it connects with the carpiobogium. I don't know, which I think is this carpiospas here. As you can tell, I'm no scientist, but my knowledge and experience is that basically the CMOS gets these bumps on it. The bumps relieves either male or female, like female eggs or male sperm. They float in the ocean, and they pretty much become food for the small life, like phytoplankton, and so some of it gets up, feed up, it gets produced into feed for other marine life, and then the rest of it kind of floats around in the water. Then it lands on like a substrate area, and then through that it germinates, and then from it germinating, it grows into the CMOS basically. But what's interesting with the sea moss is that it can actually, on extreme conditions or stressful conditions, it can turn into a hermaphrodite and actually um, fertilize itself. Additionally, if you break a piece off of the sea moss, you can break, say, like this little branch here, and it will continue to grow and get into bigger. And so, a lot of times, how the sea moss is propagated or spread out is that it's broken off into pieces by the ocean, and then those pieces float around in the water, and then they land on other areas, and then they continue to expand and grow. That's why earlier when Jamie was here, he was talking about having these like fields. Like you would have these literally like fields and areas of just like sea moss everywhere because it's broken, and like the eggs and stuff have gone everywhere in that sort of region. They've just landed in that area and just continue to grow on top of each other. So yeah, you're saying the mecca of successful entrepreneurship is Atlanta, and then you're like almost asexual. Yeah, from what I read, there's asexual, bisexual, and C-sexual. Yeah. Let me see if I can find some other cool stuff about Seamoss. Oh, look at this! I found an article where they talk about tank farming. But how old is this article? I'd be curious to know. Let me share the screen. Mm-hmm. Oops. This one. Hey, Janine, I see you in club here. So, let me know if you have any questions. We're doing something on also Facebook Live where I'm sharing my screen about CMOS, the Garcillaria, and how it's used for the agar market. And I did run an interesting article where it talks about the different farming production methods. And it says that there are four Garcillarian cultivation and production methods mostly used by CMOS farmers, such as the rope farming. Garcillaria seaweeds result in a different amount or level of production depending on the species being cultivated and the climate conditions.
The ropes used to cultivate and grow Garcillaria seaweed can be nylon and other suits. Before ropes are used, they need to be checked, especially the durability of the lines. Then there's pond farming. Cultivated weed in ponds have been conducted for centuries, even till now. The seed stocks supplied from the wild, and the ponds should be made in locations that are not exposed to strong wind and near seawater or fresh water as the source to grow seawater. The water will be replaced after 2 to 3 days when the depth of the water maintained at 30 to 40 centimeters. Moreover, to make seeds growing healthier and stronger, minerals like phosphates and nitrates can be added. Farming can produce around 34 tons per hectare each year. Wow, that's pretty big. That's pretty significant. That's more tank farming here. To control the growth of Garcillaria, tank farming can be used for the whole process, and this method promising more satisfying results due to the clean water control, and if compared with other farming methods, it provides more productivity per unit area. And to maintain a high level of productivity, Garcillaria should be harvested periodically, and harvesting methods are varied depending on the size of the tanks being used. Some of the manufacturers using hand net to harvest the seaweed, or the tank can be drained first into a net, although this method is less efficient due to the amount of time to refill the tanks with water. And then bottom stocking cultivation is a process conducted by moving rocks until the tally in order to increase the density of farm area. The species we already grown on the site. This method can be more successful. The disadvantages of having this cultivated is that the cost of labor and the plant to harvest are usually high, and this can be economic for areas with low labor costs. Interesting. So I guess there's more than just pool growing. They got palm farming and tank farming. So that's cool. So tank farming is extremely expensive. If I'm correct, anybody and everybody can't afford to pool tank farm Seamoss. I agree. I don't believe that it's something that is how do you say it in sort of mass production right now. And I think if it is, it's going to a completely different market than the market that we're seeing. Excuse me. I think that, you know, there is a huge market for really cheap sea moss. And that's where you're getting a lot of this, like sea moss that people think are pool grown. It's just really cheap sea moss. And it's cheap because it's grown fast, it's grown quick. It's grown in, I don't know, it's not dried totally. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I think that really, how do I put it? Like if you're looking for good quality sea moss, you need to really know where the waters are of the sea moss. You need to know the way that they've dried the sea moss, like how dry do they make the sea moss. Um, the care, who the actual person is, like do they, how is their passion or desire for this product. You know what I mean? And I want to make it clear that there are a lot of countries that produce good sea moss. It's not just the Caribbean countries. There are countries in Asia and Indonesia and Vietnam and stuff that produce good sea moss. There's areas that produce bad sea moss. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's important to make sure you're aware of the area of where it's coming from and the people that are processing or handling it, to make sure that they're um, treating it as a like a premium product, and not just something that they're trying to just move and sell as cheap as One person said to me the other day, they said, "I've realized now that cheaper is not always better," and that's, I think, is so true when it comes to CMOS. You know, it's more like, and that's not saying you can't get good CMOS for cheap, but I think it's very hard
and difficult to not only get good sea moss for cheap, but get a lot of it for cheap. And why should you be getting it for cheap? The person who made it probably worked hard to get. It's not easy to make good, clean sea moss. It takes work, and so like if you're going to um, get the good stuff, you, you need to pay for it. We all need to pay for it. Like, why are we fighting over a few dollars to try and save a few bucks? You know what I mean? Just like let the CMOS shine for itself and charge more money if you have to. For if it's a good product, what I mean, it should be way worth the cost. This honestly, the CMOS price is all over the market. Um, I've seen prices as high as $100, and I've seen prices as low as $20. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, which is better? $100 is not always as better as the $20, but the $20 is not always better than $100. You know, what's most important, like I said, is you find a good guy that you like that has good CMOS, and you freaking stick with them. You don't try to how do you say it, cut corners in a sense, trying to save $2, $3, because in the reality, if you're selling this stuff right, then that $2 to $3 a pound you're saving really translates to like a few cents saved on that product. You could have probably charged more for that product, and a lot of times, like if you sell your product for a higher price, you can afford to do more from with the money that you're using, if that makes sense. So you can afford to make sure that the product is cleaner, afford to make sure that you buy the better CMOS, and it's constant, it's in constant supply. You had a question: have you ever purchased from Grenada? No, I have only gotten CMOS from St. Lucia. I've never. I don't think I've even tried Seamoss from Grenada. I think a long time I called them about it, and they were like, the person I talked to was like super expensive. They wanted $25 a pound plus shipping, and they were shipping it straight from Grenada. So I was kind of like, that's crazy. So no, I haven't done just St. Lucia, unfortunately. But I do believe that their CMOS is good. It looks like it's quality CMOS. Sorry, I just had to let the dog out. The dog that's giving me the sniffles, allergies. So yeah, so I haven't purchased from Grenada. It's good CMOS though. It looks pretty good. I think most places that have like volcanic regions in the area, their CMOS tends to be pretty good. So, so guys, let me know if you have any questions. I think we touched on a lot of topics today. Touched a little bit about drop shipping, a little bit about white label. Well, actually, I talked more about white labeling than drop shipping. Although I think drop shipping is a good market to probably get into, especially if you trust the person drop shipping it. Now, I don't have. I don't know too many of the people that are doing drop shipping. I've looked it into myself, and I think it's a little bit. I don't know. You have to invest in a little bit of a system to make sure that you're pricing the CMOS right for the like shipping costs. To make sure that who you're shipping it to, you know what I mean. You're not you're charging the correct shipping price, because shipping prices can kill you if you don't calculate it correctly, and you're undercharging for what you should be for CMOS. I mean for shipping. That could be really put it down. Excuse me. The profits of your business, especially if your profit margins are tight, which most people starting the business, they're going to have tight margins until they find efficiencies to save money and stuff like that. So that being said, drop shipping, I think, is a good option for those people that want to save time
those people that want to, like get into the business with like limited overhead or investment. You know, they can go and basically send the orders to this person who's drop shipping, and yeah, I've been doing drop shipping. I don't do it now, but I'll tell you, I used to do drop shipping back in like 1999, 2000. And this was before the market is the way it is now. Back then, you had to deal with companies like Alibaba, and there was another one called Global Sources. And Global Sources was crazy, it was killer. I even think the GoPro cameras, they came from a company that was making them, and then the guy like bought them out or something like that. Because I remember years ago, I was looking at those cameras, and I almost like I was going to buy them, but I didn't because they were so cheap, and I was kind of like skeptical. Like, there's no way this camera can do everything that was saying for the price that it was. And then I saw the same camera, the same size, same dimensions, and everything being sold as a GoPro camera, and everybody was freaking out of these cameras. So I spent the money and bought one. And when I bought it, I was like, "Oh, I know this camera. I see it." And then like I looked at the packaging, everything was like similar. And so, yeah, that was a disappointment there that I didn't buy in on GoPro cameras and have a bunch of them cheap because they were going for like $39 or something like that. They did 1080p and they went underwater with the casing and everything. And that was like unheard of at the time. Like I remember spending $200 for a case, an underwater case for my camera to take pictures. This cheap digital Sony. Oh my god! I think it had 2 megapixels on the camera back then. Wow. So yeah, I think that I don't know if we solve the solution with the drop shipping, we might get into it. But I know there's going to be other companies that are going to get into it, and it's a good option. You know, if you can work out a good relationship with that supplier. Because here's the thing too, you got to make sure that the person that you are handling your drop shipping for you, that they're on it, that they have the right facility, that they have that the orders are going to put out fast because it is your name that they're putting under. And so if the order goes out late or it's got subpar quality CMOS or they don't send say the tracking number or anything like that, that's going to be on you. You know what I mean? That's going to be kind of like your responsibility. You know what I mean? And so, you know, you got to make sure you got to, you know, do your due diligence to make sure that you're working with people that you can trust. You know, the dog's still outside. I'm surprised he hasn't come back in yet because it's like raining out there. The weather's not too good tonight, and so dog usually is like in and out. If he's if the weather's bad, tends to, I don't know. I think he's doing his midnight rounds. He likes to do these rounds, check the property before he goes to bed, and then he can relax. He's a good dog. So let me know if you guys have any questions to, you know, if I should dive deep more into the drop shipping. It's very simple how it works, right? Um, and like I said, I think it's a good way for some, you know, I think it's a good way for those people that want to get started in the business, don't want to make a huge investment, and are worried about like taking the risk of holding too much product on their hand. And I think that if they can partner up with a company that is bringing in the CMOS in large quantities, you know, they can offer like a partnership where, you know, they're all making a few bucks off the sale, and that person just focuses on selling the product, and the other guy just focuses on producing the product. You know, we'll see. Who knows? I have a feeling that especially now that I've talked about it, there'll be people that will be seriously considering it because You know, it's a it's a win-win for both people. I think it's just how do you get the pricing down? You know what I mean? Like what's fair for both sides? Like if I'm just bringing in the sale, like how much do I get for it as opposed to the guy that's doing all the labor and all the manpower and stuff like that to put it together. You know what I mean? It's like both parties are required to have the sale almost equally. So how do you, you know, do what's fair for both people so that they feel like they've been compensated accurately? That's it's a lot of stuff we can discuss. I guess that's always good for future discussions. So it is 11:30. I don't know how late I want to stay tonight. Thought Moss Boss was, or not Moss Boss, Moss King and Ricky Ray were going to join me tonight, but I think it's kind of my fault. I didn't call them to let them know that I was still doing it tonight. So I understand if they got caught up or they got into doing other things. But yeah, I was looking forward to hanging out with them, talking more. I like because Ricky does white labeling. He's been doing a few ads I've seen around about it, and so I wanted to kind of pick his brain or add some questions to hopefully some people might see value in someone like him, you know, producing the products for them to slap their brand name on it. Yeah, it's good. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know how late I'm gonna stay here today because I'm feeling a little down. Could get some rest. Weather's cold, and I don't know. I think we covered a lot of bases. Like, we talked a lot tonight. Just to recap, we talked to Jamie from Africa, from Cape Verde or Vert, which is a bunch of islands off the coast of, I guess, West Africa. And he's telling me about how they're full. They have an abundance of Seamoss and bladderwrack and a few other algae. And so the idea is for him to start a business exporting it. And he asked me a few questions about exporting it and how to get it out of the island and what should he do. Honestly, we could have probably talked more about it, but we like normal. We jumped around all the different subjects. Then we had I forget the lady's name, but her voice wasn't clear. I'm gonna play it back later. Hopefully, I put the mic close enough so that people could hear what she was saying. But I had challenges understanding what was going on. But that's what it is. So we talked to her, and she was talking a little bit about her Seamoss business and her impressions of the colors and the different phytonutrients and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I weighed in about that same topic. And then we talked about a few other things, and here we are now. Yeah, so we covered a lot of ground, I think. Yeah, definitely taking an extra dose of Seamoss tomorrow because I feel it in my chest, almost like little bronchitis stuff. But it should be all right. So, anybody got any questions to ask me? Otherwise, I think I might just call it a night. I mean, I've been doing it for almost 2 hours now, and like I said earlier, we talked a lot about stuff, and really, I don't know. I get more excitement out of answering people's questions, out of you know what I mean, going the back and forth information than to just me blabbering and jammering about nonsense. Well, not nonsense, but just whatever. So I'm gonna see if anybody has any more questions, and I might just drop out after in the next 5 minutes or so. and then get some sleep before I got to get up early and do it again. You know, that's the Seamoss life. You know, getting up early and getting my day started. Excuse me. So nobody has any questions? Wow, that's unfortunate. Let me see if there's anything I want to talk about. Talked about the Seamoss reproduction system, how it grows, develops. We have been doing it for about 2 hours, which is what I said I would do, be at least. One thing before I go, I should mention is if you guys are interested in learning more about the Seamoss and all things kind of Seamoss, I have a friend. He came out with him and his wife and business partner Shayna. Herbie and Shayna came out with this book called Seamossology, which is the ultimate guide of principles, techniques, and tools for Seamoss. I know they're really passionate about this product that they put together. You can get it in a hard copy, audiobook, or PDF. I don't know anybody else that's really sort of putting out a product or a book of this sort of level of education, basically sharing all their techniques and ideas and experiences that they've had growing their Seamoss business. They originally started out as this company, Divine Herbs and Healing, and have now morphed into a different company, but more focused on the fibering, the lifestyle of fiber, and the importance of having fiber in your diet and stuff like that. And so their company is now called Vegan Fiber, and they're making a few products. Seamoss, they actually got out of the Seamoss gel. They're more into the Seamoss capsules and then teas and stuff like that. And actually, fuck it. Let's just go on their website and check it out. I'm sure they would like that. What better way to show someone something than to show it live and firsthand? Why not? So this is their product. They actually have a Be Vegan for a Week. There's a 5-day vegan challenge. This is the information about their book here, the Seamossology. Here's some of the products that they have. So they have the Seamoss as on its own as a superfood. They have an elderberry herbal tea for digestion and immunity. There's the Seamossology book. It's on sale. The audiobook is like $30. Yeah, this is their stuff here. Let's hit the shop button. All products. Different teas. There's a digestive enzyme. Oh, this is cool. A plant-based food guide and a wellness for prenatal care. And these, I just noticed that these things are free. You know what I mean? So definitely you want to check out this plant-based food guide. And if you're looking at, getting into childbirthing, I don't think it hurts to check out this herbal regime for prenatal. I know one thing that they're looking at here, moringa leaf. I've tried that a few times and I love it. It's very good. So, and then they have some vegan bundles. Just look pretty cool. Yeah. So that's their website there, and I encourage you guys to go check them out and go check out their book, which is this one here, the Seamossology. Oh, actually, this is cool. It has the table of contents here, and so you can then look firsthand and see what information is included in that, this book. And it looks like it's quite a bit. There's 4 chapters here. There's another. Oh, what would that be? Another 7 chapters. Afterwards, including how to incorporate Seamoss daily, Seamoss food and beverages, Seamoss in the beauty industry. How to maximize Seamoss daily, different techniques to take Seamoss. So yeah, you want to try and check out that book and get to know as much as you can about Seamoss. Yeah, I encourage everybody to go check that book. So I'm just reading some of these comments. Well, listen, guys, it's been a slice, and unless you got more questions to answer, I'm probably gonna kind of pack it in tonight and rest up and be all fresh and ready to do this next Wednesday. Yes, I'm trying to do this on Mondays and Wednesdays, at least for 1 to 2 hours, just to speak, randomly about Seamoss and different stuff. I know over time goes, I'll probably get more organized and structured with it. For now, we're going to pretty much be talking a bunch of random things and answering everybody's questions. So this is a great time to get those kind of questions answered that you're not sure where to get the information from, or you just even want a second opinion. You know what I mean? Based on what you found, what other people think, and that's a good opportunity to do that here. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong answers. There's no answer too tough to ask or anything like that. It's weird. Yeah. So definitely, if you can, try and come back out on Wednesday evening. I'll be back around 9:30ish. I'll probably take some announcements on the Facebook groups to let you guys know when I'm starting, or make sure you guys know that I am starting. But yeah, until then, I'm gonna see you guys soon, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys got a lot of pleasure and value out of it. I know I had a good time doing it, and so I'm looking forward to doing it again this Wednesday in the evening around 9:30. All right. So again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to take your Seamoss. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.